Well, hello, time travelers, and welcome, new time travelers. As always, if you're new to this channel and enjoy learning about history, one event at a time from around the world, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Without further ado, let's get into it. To improve the then unsatisfactory methods of instructing midshipmen, George Bancroft, historian, educator, and Secretary of the Navy, founded the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland on this day in 1845. The following year, in 1946, English astronomer William Leslie discovered Triton, the largest satellite of the planet Neptune. In 1911, a group of revolutionaries launched an uprising in Wuchang, China, which many regarded as the formal beginning of the Chinese Revolution. Nationalist democratic revolt that overthrew the Qing dynasty. 6 years later, in 1917, American pianist and composer Thelonious Monk, among the first creators of modern jazz, was born. In 1935, George Gershwin's opera Porgy and Bess opened on Broadway. In 1950, Cyrus S. Ching was named chairman of the U.S. Wage Stabilization Board by President Harry S. Truman. 6 years later, in 1956, the American classic Giant had its world premiere. The saga was officially notable for being the last movie of James Dean, who died in a car accident shortly after filming was completed. Now, in 1963, the British spy film From Russia with Love premiered in London. The second film in the James Bond franchise is considered one of the best in the series. Now, let's move 6 years down the timeline and make a stop in with sports for the sports fans out there. In 1969, American Gridiron football player Brett Favre, who broke all the major NFL career passing records as quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, was born. The following year, in 1970, Fiji gained its independence from Great Britain. 3 years later, in 1973, Vice President Spiro T. Agnew resigned from office and pleaded no contest to the charge of failing to report $29,500 in income while governor of Maryland. In 1979, Canadian hockey player Wayne Gretzky made his NHL debut with Ottawa Oilers. 6 years later, in 1985, American filmmaker Orson Welles, who notably wrote, directed, produced, and acted in Citizen Kane that premiered in 1941, which was one of the most influential films of all times, died at the age of 70. A year before the turn of the century, in 1999, George Forrest Chester Jr., American songwriter, dies in Miami, Florida. 6 years later, in 2005, 3 weeks after a preliminary election in which the parties headed by Chancellor Gerhard Schröder and by Angela Merkel, won close to the same number of votes. An agreement is made to form a grand coalition government with Merkel at the head. Our final event happened in 2010 when the Netherlands Antilles, formerly an autonomous part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, consisting of a group of 5 islands in the Caribbean Sea, was officially dissolved. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. Now let's head over to the animal kingdom for our 59th animal fact. And after this video, I want you to look up the animal in today's animal fact. The Japanese spider crab has the longest leg span of any arthropod, which is sea creatures that have like shells, like your lobsters, your crabs, your shrimp, things like that. From the tip of one claw to the other can be as long as almost 4 meters. Japanese spider crabs have 10 legs stretching out from a central body, giving it its spider-like appearance. They live deep in the ocean south of Japan. And with them having a span of 4 meters, that's pretty big. But then again, I'm actually used to the Maryland crabs. Now I'm hungry for crabs. Anyway, now let's head into the science lab for our 59th science fact. It's almost impossible to get too much sugar from fresh fruit. While the sugar in fruit is mostly fructose and glucose. Now, fructose is what's converted into fat in your body. You can't get too much sugar from fresh fruit. Fresh fruit contains a lot of fiber and water, which slows down your digestion and makes you feel full. And as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about history, one event at a time, not only from the US, but from around the world, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. I'll see you in the next one.